Good afternoon, Midwest Mania guests. My guest is Mike Harrell. He owns Harrell cane rod, a custom cane rod company. He's out of Morris, Illinois. How's it going, Mike?
Okay, it's fine, thank you.
I appreciate you coming on today, and I'll give him a little backstory. I was looking through Facebook Marketplace, and his ad for his rods came up, and I love his rods. I got to just save up some money for him because it's a tool, but it's artwork at the same time. So yeah, and I asked if you want to come on, and you want to introduce yourself, Mike?
Yeah, I'm Mike Harrell. I have Harrell's Custom Cane Rods. I'm in Morris, and you can find me on Facebook at that same Harrell's Custom Cane Rods. Grew up in Georgia, so forgive my accent. Never have lost it, but got into school in engineering, and nuclear engineering was big at the time, and so I worked at the Savannah River site in Aiken, South Carolina. That's where they make the bombs. Learned a lot there. Then I moved to Raytheon constructors. That's what it was at the time, and I worked in nuclear power plants on mods and stuff. And then I finally moved to ComEd, a utility here in Illinois.
Right.
As you can see, I've got a strong technical background, and I always like to work with my hands. So
I'm an automotive technician by trade. So,
pardon?
I'm an automotive technician by trade.
Oh, my dad was a mechanic for 35 years.
Yeah, I've been doing it for 25. Went to school for it, and I'm an ASC master tech. But I had an accident a few years ago, and now I'm at home. But let's get this started off. How do you start in the rod building?
Well, you kind of got to look at a natural progression of things that got me started. Growing up as a kid, I liked to catfish down in the rivers and the lakes of South Carolina. Then I said, well, let's try something else. I got to spin casting for trouts and bass and things like that. So I got through spin casting. I said, well, it's about time for me to learn fly fishing.
All right.
Because fishing is the supreme fishing. So I started fly fishing. And I said, wait, next, let's try tying flies. And I got to tying flies. And I went to a fly show. It's the one they have here in Illinois called the Early Show.
Okay.
And I was looking at fly tying stuff and guides and all that kind of good stuff. And I ran across a gentleman who became my mentor on bamboo rod building. And I said, well, that sounds like fun. And I went and got a couple of books and read them and stuff and said, well, why don't I give this a try? So I called my mentor up, or what become my mentor up, and we set something up, and he explained everything to me, and it sounded like fun, so I made my first rod. And I became hooked. It's addicting. It's fun. And I built my first rod. That just reinforced the fact that I was hooked. And since then, I've made about 50 or 60 rods, I guess it is now.
You do damn good work. So have you messed around with any other materials besides cane?
Well, when you look at that, you got to look at the history of fly rods. Kind of, they started out in the pre-1880s, I guess, with things like greenwood and maple and ash, and that was very difficult to mill because you literally had to turn it on the lathe to get a taper into it. I've experimented a couple of times with that. Have not mastered it and probably never will.
Gotcha.
And then if you go to the 1880s, some people found that in India they had Calcutta cane. And that was the beginning of bamboo rods in history, even, Calcutta cane was good, but it had, it was still an unsatisfactory bamboo. There's many, many kinds of bamboo. Well, in the 1920s, Tonkin bamboo was found in a province of China. Okay. And that's the only place it will grow to this day, meaning people are continually trying to recreate the environment in order to get it to grow. And then people started shipping it to makers. And Tonkin was a strong, flexible bamboo and made a great rod. Had plenty of what we call power fibers.
Now, is that bamboo the giant pandas eat over there?
No.
All right.
No, this is I don't even think it's in the same area as the bamboos, the pandas are. It has power fibers are kind of like, if you look at your rod and see how linear it is, there's a whole bunch of little strands underneath the enamel, the coating of the bamboo, and that's the power fibers. And it had plenty of those. Now, so that's how it got to the bamboo. Now, recently, there's been a gentleman that went to Vietnam, and he's bringing back some Lulo, that's L-O-O, okay. Bamboo. And it's not quite Tonkin, but it's pretty good. And from there, we start to gather the bamboo and get it, and then we start to pick it out and make things out of it. Tonkin can be difficult to work with sometimes because of the nodes. The nodes are the rings. When you look at a piece of bamboo, you see the rings. That's nodes. And the distance between those rings or nodes is called the internodal distance. Now, when you make a rod using Tonkin, you have to address those nodes. You have to sand them. You have to cut them. You have to actually compress them. Not hard, but it takes a lot to do. It's not a favorite one. So then you moved on to let's make nodeless rods. And what you did there was you would cut the internodal distance out on the Tonkin rods, usually 8 to 12 inches. Then you'd make a scarf on them. And a scarf looks like a Z. Okay. Stretched out Z. And what that does is when you glue them together, it gives you much more surface gluing area, which makes them hold better. And then once you get 48 inches of it glued together, you can start making rods. Now, I mentioned the Lulo. It's very unusual because it has internodal distance 39 inches and above. Mm-hmm. So virtually you're making a nodeless rod and not having to scarf it. And the other thing to look at too is the cost of the Tonkin was increasing. I remember buying it for $50 a column. A column's 12 foot. Okay. And now, from tariffs, inflation, shipping, et cetera, it's up to about $75 a column. Not necessarily making it cost prohibitive, but, I'm a retired guy, and I kind of like to watch my pennies.
Oh, yeah. Everybody watches their pennies these days.
That is true. Now, the differences between the Lulo and the Tonkin is the Lulo is about 20% lighter, and the internodal distance that I mentioned earlier can be a distance up to 4 foot. This makes it plane easier. Okay. You don't have to fight as many nodes and tear-outs. So the Lulo is probably the easiest bamboo to work with, but it hasn't been widely accepted yet in the bamboo world. When I make rods, if I pick a rod to make it, of fun. I've had fun doing it that way. And plus, then I can compare the two rods since my forms are set the same way. And right now, I'm kind of pleased with the performance of the Lulo, but when I went to a gathering recently, I did buy some more Tonkin and Lulo because I don't like the idea of making two rods, too.
Gotcha. I have bamboo arrow shafts, and I wonder what I ordered them off Amazon. I wonder what kind of bamboo they're made out of. They're definitely, and I don't know if you know anything about archery or anything like that. Like each shaft it's got to be spined specifically to your bow, and these shafts have completely. One shaft is different from the other, like flexible wise. So yeah, and I played with them a little bit. I just need something a little bit more durable than cedar at the 3D series I shoot. In the class I shoot, I got to shoot wood shafts. And it gets expensive when you break them and they bounce off stuff. And
it can. My recommendation would be go buy some 4-foot bamboo garden stakes. And pick the size you want, the diameter for the arrow, and you can easily make arrows from those bamboo.
These are like the nodes have already been cut down on them and all that stuff.
You got to sand them down. Yeah, you have to sand them down, and then you would burn them, or flame them. We call it burning.
Like fire hardening.
Pardon?
Like fire hardening them.
That's exactly what it does. Then you throw a nook on an end and a tip on the end and some feathers on the end, and you're ready to shoot. And I've made a couple. They're not hard to make. They have some little things you got to look for when you're using the garden bamboo, but you got to look for little imperfections that might cause something not to go right. But it works well. And I think that's what you're getting when you order the bamboo arrows from Amazon.
I think
because I can't see them. What's the word I want? I can't see them investing in really good bamboo.
Yeah. And I played with them. I fleshed up 3 of them, and 2 out of the 3 flew very well. And I recently lost them. Go figure. But the third one, it does what it wants. But that's nature. There's probably imperfection in it. There's probably a flaw I don't see, and
that can happen. Well, I'll tell you what I'm willing to do. I got your email address and your phone number, and I'll text you some pictures of how to make them.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Not a problem. We're in this world to help people.
Yeah. Oh, so I'm looking at my question. Let's see where we're at. Any build? Okay, you've built a couple rides now, but any I just drew a blank. Damn it. Any weight ride, is it more difficult to build than like a 3-weight rod? Is that more difficult to build than an 8-weight rod?
Not really, unless you're trying to do something specific. Like you mentioned the 3-weight rod. I've just built 2 Smithwick tapers for 7-foot rods, and the whole idea was to make them weigh as little as possible. And I got them under 3 ounces, 2.6 ounces. Now 7-weight is a little heavier, of course, because the taper's thicker.
Yeah,
but it's really the same process you're going through to build them.
Like I have graphite rods and a couple glass rods. I have a newer glass 3-weight, which I like. But I bought that for fishing. My wife's family lives they live in Michigan, not the upper PA, but close enough. And I fish all like little feeder creeks off the Manistee for birch trout up there. And it does the job.
Oh. It does. It will.
Oh, where am I at now, man? Hey. What's your favorite type of fish to fish for? Let's talk about fishing.
Okay. I like to fish for trout.
Okay.
But I also have been known to fish for a little crappie and bass too. But trout's a good challenge. For an example, the last one I caught was in Wisconsin, in the driftless area, 10-inch trout. And after it took an hour and 3 flies before I coached him to take it.
Yep.
So it's a little fun that way, too. So you climb down in the banks in the creek and just have a good time. But my preference right now is trout, and I release them unless I'm hungry, and then I might want to go for a bass.
There's a trout stream up here, up in northern Illinois. It's about 10 minutes from the border, and it doesn't cross the border or anything like that. It got illegally stocked with browns back in the 40s and 50s, and there's 30-inch brown trout in there. A lot of people don't know about it.
Oh, I want to know.
Yeah, I'll tell you when we get off the phone here.
Okay.
But I should also, have you ever fly fished or smallmouth?
Yeah, you can have largemouth and smallmouth. The smallmouth put up a real good fight.
Oh yeah, I should get you to come up here and fish the Kitchwaukee River with me.
I can probably arrange that for that to happen.
All right, that works. Because you're not, Morris, Illinois is only, I think, an hour and 30 minutes away from me.
That's approximately right. I used to when I was working for ComEd, I used to drive up to the Rockford facility.
Oh.
It took me about an hour 35.
Yeah, I'm. If you know where the Byron nuclear plant is,
That's it.
I'm about 10 minutes away from there. That's where I live.
Okay. That puts you kind of in Oregon then.
I'm considered Rockford, unincorporated Rockford.
Okay.
I'm 8 minutes from Byron. I cross the river and get on 70. I want to say 72, but I know that's not it. It's Kitchwaukee Road. I can take that and go on head to either Stone Valley or Byron. I can see the towers from my house.
Oh, cool.
So yeah. You tie flies. What's your favorite fly to tie?
Right now, I like one that's called a baby doll. It was designed and then first produced and tied in England.
Okay.
And it's for trout. It's a really simple streamer-looking fly where you just use 2 materials other than your string, and you use a white wool and a silver wire, and you put the white wool on it and wrap it with a silver wire for strength, and you brush out a little bit of the wool, and you got a tail.
All right.
And then, of course, woolly boogers. Just because booger, huh?
I tie those myself. I tie flies. I fish from pretty much mostly like smallmouth, so I tie a lot of clouds or minnows.
Clouds and minnows are good, yeah.
Half and halves. Most they're jig style flies. I have this one streamer I made, and I don't know how I did it, but I drop that in front of any smallmouth, they're going to eat it.
Those are the best kind to have.
Yeah, and I can't figure out how I did it or when I did it. It was when I was having seizures, and I would go downstairs and I tied a fly, and I had a seizure, and I don't remember how I did it. It works.
That's what counts. I'll send you a picture of the baby dolls. You see them.
And I'll tie some flounders and send them to you, and like small enough like for so you can fish for trout. Is the season closed now up in the driftless? Huh? Is the trout season closed in the driftless right now? Driftless area in Wisconsin?
No, I think it goes till like November 1.
Okay.
I mean, I was up there the third week in September.
Okay.
It was open. I don't think it went down.
I thought it closed something like around October 1st or like October.
It could. I'd have to look, but for some reason I think it's November 1.
I haven't fished up there in a long time. I should buy Wisconsin fishing license because I'm so close to the border.
Yeah.
I haven't. Are you a member of any clubs or organizations?
Well, I've been an off and on member of Trouts Unlimited. I primarily focus on what's called in the Northern Rod Makers Gathering.
Okay.
It's a meeting we have once a year, and we share tips and tricks on making rods. I do have a weekly Zoom call with my mentor and one of the guys he mentors, and we talk about fly fishing and rod building stuff then. So The idea is just to keep yourself informed and share information.
That works. Now, did you ever thought about putting those your mentor meetings, your Zoom meetings on a YouTube channel for your business?
I've been exploring those ideas, but I haven't yet.
Don't ask me because I haven't figured that out yet, how to do that yet either. So,
hey, you're ahead of me. You know how to do a podcast. I don't.
yeah. Oh, and then you answer this one. This is a two-parter. I have horrible handwriting. What's one piece of advice you would give to somebody that's looking to get into ride building?
Well, actually, I kind of have about three pieces.
Okay, that works.
Advice. Number one, find you a mentor, and that mentor will help you with rod building. He'll help you with fly fishing in general. Somebody that's a little long in the tooth, that's been doing it for quite a while. The second one is don't give up. Keep making rods. Each one will be better than the other. And the final one is go fish them. That's where the fun comes in.
Hang on, Mike. I'll be right back. Someone's at my door. Hang on.
Okay.
Are you still there?
Sure am, sir.
Sorry about that. I was asked if I wanted solar panels on my house. Hey, it's a good idea, but I can't afford it, so.
Understood. We all watch our pennies, as you said.
All right, we started off on this question about what would one piece of advice you would give to somebody starting the ride building. You address that one, and you said find yourself a mentor that would help you in a ride building and fly fishing and maybe fly tying. Because I know some people that fly fish that don't fly tie.
You got to learn to do both. That's just part of the fun and the hobby.
Yeah, I told my wife, I said, yeah, I'll start tying flies. I'll save money at it. I don't save money.
Wrong.
But like I learned, I hunt, so I can take all my pelts, like my deer tails, my squirrel tails, my pheasant backs, and do all that, and it works.
Yep. And, if you learn to tan and everything, you can give a lot of that stuff good. But most of the time, you'll find that buying all the materials you need probably triples the cost of a fly if you go to Orvis.
Yeah, my mentor gave me my fly vise. I still have it. I still tie it. It was like a little Kabbalah traveling vise with a wood box with tools and all that stuff, and I still use it. He gave me I have a 7-weight Raytheon fly rod. He gave me with a big arbor reel on it because we're fishing for smallmouth up here. We hit pike every once in a while or big carp, and they'll take you into your backing.
Yep.
I had a carp on, and you're sort of familiar with Rockford. I fished below Tinker Switch Cottage. There's a creek there. There's a little dam. Well, I fished above the dam for carp. Well, this carp ate my fly, took me downstream, and took a 90 degree and headed north up the creek. And I was well in my backing. I was running down trying to chase him, and I never got him. I had to break my leader off.
That's the thing about carp. Up here in the I&M Canal, there's carp there, and a lot of people fish them, and they throw them back in. because I don't think they're anything as big as you landed. What sounds like you landed is like a 35-pounder.
Oh yeah, they're huge in there, and
Yeah.
I've watched. I've went in there and caught them. Me and him's caught them in like January because the water's clear, and they'll sit on the springs, and they'll pot up, and you can just it's almost like fishing for steelhead. You can drift your like sculpin pattern right past them, and you'll watch them turn sideways and hail it, and you set the hook. And halftime, they don't realize it's so cold. They don't realize they're hooked until you start pulling on them when the fight begins.
Yep, that's true. And actually, carp is really a good protein source to eat. We call them trash fish here, but in Japan, I mean, that's a prime sushi fish.
They eat them.
And there's a place somewhere, I think it's just across the Wisconsin line, that I saw on diners, drive-ins, and dives. And they go through about 1,000 pounds a week of fried carp. They say the trick is when you fillet, you don't even fillet it, but what you do is you cut X's through the skin.
Yeah.
And then you deep fat fry it, and that heat from that deep fat frying melts those little pin bones. And a lot of people like them up there. I haven't had a chance to try it yet because, to be honest, I don't know if I want to eat one out of the I&M Canal right now.
My mentor, he owned a bait shop, and he was not my hunting mentor. He was an older guy, and he owned a bait shop right down the road from me, and he would trap and do all this stuff. Well, he got a carp one day, and he smoked it. It tastes just like smoked salmon.
Yep, it does. It can, yeah.
But we're getting close on time, Mike.
Okay.
I'm going to hit end, but you stay on the line.
Okay.
Thank you for all who joined us today and listened to our podcast. Remember, check out Compton Traditional Bow Hunters. It's a great organization, and have a nice day.